Right, welcome to this video. In today's video, we are going to be solving questions from tutorial sheet 1, and this course is Introduction to Statistics and Probability. So with me, I have this tutorial sheet, okay, and this tutorial sheet has 22 questions altogether, and these questions basically cover the introduction to statistics, and they cover descriptive statistics. Okay, how to represent your information on different types of graph, okay, on different types of tables and the like. So you can see all these questions here from question 1, where we're just defining terms. Okay, we'll talk about sampling methods. For example, question number 4. Um, yeah, we'll talk about how to identify a population, how to identify a sample, how to draw the bar graph, the pie chart. Okay, we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to define and give examples of measures of central tendency. Okay, like the median, the mode, and the like, measures of position, measures of dispersion, like the variance. Okay, and then we'll also look at how to construct frequency tables. You can see this question here. Yeah, how to draw the polygon, the histogram, how to construct the relative frequency distribution table, how to do the or give curves. We have questions on all that, okay, as well as how to construct the stem and the leaf diagram, okay, how to find the interquartile range, how to do the plot box. We're going to look at all that, how to find the mean, the standard deviation of grouped data, like this question number 19, okay, how to find percentiles, like find the 48th percentile, 60th percentile, 99th percentile, and the like. We're going to look at all these questions that you can see here, okay? So by the end of you watching videos on all these, you should be able to actually answer exam questions that can come on these questions here. Okay, so for this video, we'll start from question 1. So question 1 is basically on definitions on some of these statistical terminologies that we're going to encounter. So the first question says, define the following terms, and the first one is define what a population is. Okay, so by definition, we're simply going to say a population is simply a complete set of persons, or it be objects, or measurements about which information is required. Okay, that's how we can define the population. Okay, and in a shorter way, I wrote here, I just said the population is a complete set of units that you're interested in, or about which you are going to obtain your information. Okay, an example of a population can be, for example, all pregnant women attending maybe public clinics in Lusaka province during the year 2026. Okay, so that will be a population. Right, and then definition number 2 says target population. Okay, target population. So there's a difference between the population and the target population. So this is how we define a target population. So we say the target population, okay, is the full population to which the researcher wishes to generalize the findings that they're going to find. Okay, remember when you're doing statistics, you identify a population, then from that population you get a sample, then you carry out your calculation and the like, and then once you have information about that sample, you're going to generalize it to a particular population. So that population where you're pointing to is what we are calling as the target population. Okay, so a target population is just the full population to which the findings of the researcher, okay, are going to be what? Generalized. Okay, and then we also have what we call as the study population. Okay, want to study the, want to know how to define the study population. So a study population is simply, you can say the accessible part of the target population from which the participants can practically be selected. Okay, and in easy definition, you can just say the accessible part of the target population. That's what we call as the study population. So an example can be if the target population of all adults, for example, in Zambia, I mean, let me say there's this researcher, okay, they want to study the hypertension among adults in Zambia, right? Okay, so all the adults in Zambia, okay, may be our target population because we want to study hypertension among all the adults in Zambia. So all the adults in Zambia may be our target population. So now, for that particular case, okay, the study population may just be the adults attending selected hospitals in Lusaka. That would be our study population. The part that we can easily access. That's what we are calling as the study population. Okay, so we've done this, we've done this, we've done that. Then we talk about a sample. We already know what a sample is. A sample is simply a subset selected from the what? From the population. Okay, so for example, if 100 patients are selected from all the patients that are attending a clinic, then we are going to say that the 100 patients, okay, they form a sample. So just a subset or smaller part of a population is what we're calling as a sample. What's the census? Okay, so a census is simply a study in which data, okay, are collected from every member of the population. Though it can be practically impossible to collect data from all the members of the population, okay, but for the most part, okay, if we want to, for example, find the population of a country, we are going to carry out what we call the census. So we are going to collect data, okay, from every member of the population. So that's what the census is. And then what is a sampling frame? So a sampling frame is a list, okay, or you can call it an operational representation of population members from which a sample is going to be selected. That's what a sampling frame is. So I'll give an example. So for example, if you come to the university setup, a complete list of all the registered students, okay, at the university that is used to randomly select 100 students at that particular university. That is what we are going to call as a sampling frame. So the university, okay, will give you maybe the list of all the students that are enrolled there, right? And then from that list, you select 100 students. So that list is acting as the sampling frame. Okay, so list from which the sample is selected, that's what we call as the sampling frame. What about a variable? What is a variable? Okay, so a variable is simply characteristics, okay, that can take different values among individuals or observations. So for example, when I come at your university, I start measuring the weight of everyone. So weight is going to be a variable because for each particular person, it's going to get or take a different value. So for you, it may be, okay, I'm 30 kgs. Okay, the other one I'm 50. The other one I'm 62.4, just like that. So the weight is a variable because it can take on different values. Okay, what about an observation? So an observation is a recorded value, or sometimes we say a set of values for one unity of study. Okay, recorded value for one unit of study. So I'm going to give a very simple example here. I'm going to say if a patient's age, for example, is recorded as 26 years, okay, then this 26 years is an observation, okay? For the variable, in that case, is going to be age. So the recorded value for one unit, okay, of study, that's what we call as an observation. And then a data set. Okay, so a data set is an organized collection of observations, usually arranged in rows and columns. That's what we call as the data set. So I'm going to say, okay, I have patients here, for example, then I have age, and then I have weight. So I'm going to have a patient one, patient two, patient three, and so on. I can say, okay, patient one is 22 years old. Patient 2 is 29. Patient 3 is 25. And then the weight, okay, this one is 70. I mean 65. This one is 72. This one is 68. So you can see that I've just collected, okay, some observations and I've arranged them in rows and columns because these are columns, then those are rows like that. So an organized collection of these observations that is arranged in columns, and the rows is what we call as the data set. Okay, so for any statistical thing that you're going to do, you're going to need a data set. Okay, our last definition here is the frequency. So what is a frequency? So frequency is just the number of times a value or a category actually what occurs. As simple as that. Okay, so we are done with question one. And as I said, we're going to solve all the questions in this tutorial sheet. Okay, so if you'd like to access the full video where we have all where we have full videos, okay, to all these questions that you can see in this tutorial sheet, then be free to actually subscribe with us. Okay, so just go to your website and then search Discrete. Okay, just go to your Chrome, okay, or any browser that you are using, and then search discretelearning.com. Okay, when you go to this website, okay, you create an account for yourself, log in into your account, and then you will be able to find the full solutions to all the questions that are in this particular tutorial sheet. Okay, so for example, let me show you here. So if, for example, I just go here and type in discretelearning.com, you can see the website there. So punch, and then you'll be taken to the website. If you don't have an account, it will require you to make an account. Okay, so there are different courses here that we offer: first year courses, medical courses, second year math courses, and third year math courses. Okay, and more courses that we'll be adding. So, for example, okay, you are a first year student and you are at Apex doing math in second semester, okay, then you will be taking statistics and probability, right? So what you need to do is subscribe for this course. You've seen this course, Written Foundation in Mathematics, subscribe for that particular course, okay? But if you're from UNZA, go here. You've seen this filter where it's written second year math courses, this guy here. Go there and click it. Okay, and then it will take you to the courses that you need to subscribe for. So let's say you are a first year student doing this second semester at Apex. Just click here, open course. Okay, so once you open this course, you're going to find a folder dedicated, okay, to your university. So you can see this folder here, Apex second semester, probability and statistics. So you need to subscribe, okay, for foundation math, and then inside the foundation math course, you're going to find this folder. So you can open it, okay. Once you open it, you're going to find basically, okay, what you find in all the other courses. Topic lessons for all the topics that you're going to learn, summarize notes for everything that you're going to learn, tutorial sheet and assignment, past quiz, test, and exam papers. So as you are preparing for quiz one, test one, as you are preparing for a final exam, we have a lot of videos on past papers, quizzes, and exam. So immediately you just watch these videos, then you're going to pass. Okay, you're going to pass, and you don't even have to stress. And you can access these videos at any particular time of your choice. So if you go in the tutorial sheets there, okay, you let me open it. So once you open this tutorial sheet folder, you go to your particular intake. Okay, so if you are July 2026 intake, you go to the folder for July 2026 intake. So you can see it there. So once you go there, you'll find the tutorial sheet videos. So all the videos in the tutorial sheet have been solved, plus the past papers, plus the past papers, okay, plus the weekly live classes that we have. Okay, if you're just committed and if you're having challenges with this course, then definitely you're going to do what? You're going to pass. Okay, so it's not only math that we are actually offering. We're offering a lot of courses. Okay, all the first year courses: foundation math, foundation chemistry, foundation physics, foundation biology. So if you have challenges, okay, in any of these courses, subscribe right now. Okay, because very soon you'll be writing your assessments, your quiz one, your test one, and you don't want to repeat the same exact mistake that you made in semester one. Okay, so register right now and start accessing these videos and learning at your own time, at your own pace. We explain things very clearly. Okay, we have all tutorial sheets for chemistry. There are a lot of past papers. You can pass using those. All right. So thank you so much for watching this video. This has been TutorPro Solutions. If you'd like to subscribe, just check the link in the description below here. Okay. You'll find links to our website. You'll find link to a video registration guide that is going to show you how you can register and access all these. Okay. But if you'd like to contact me, my number is 0779 96 40 and then 10. So that is TutorPro Solutions. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. This has been TutorPro Solutions. Until next time, I was there for you.